Talk about chaos. We are 24 hours away from the 2025 NBA draft, and today we have some major trade news that could shake everything up tomorrow night. A couple big bombs from Shams. We will get into all the details, and Ace Bailey and VJ Edgecombe speak to the media. We'll get into that, and we'll talk about what the Sixers should do tomorrow night versus what they are actually going to do. We'll break it all down, but welcome in to Philly Take with RB. We give you this content every single day. And today I really was, but my internet has been out for the last 4 hours because of the heat wave. It's 100 plus degrees. It's so stinking hot. And guess what? Things are on fire right now. Maybe it was a blessing in disguise so we could wait for all the news. But we'll start it off with the big bomb from earlier this afternoon. Shams reports that the Pelicans have traded CJ McCollum, Kelly Olynyk, and a future second-round pick to the Wizards for Jordan Poole, Saddiq Bey, and the 40th overall pick. Okay, interesting, very out of left field, the most random trade I can ever think of maybe. Does it really move the needle? I mean, the Wizards are now projected to have $100 million in cap space next summer in 2026. Who cares about that right now? The Pelicans now have Jordan Poole. Does that move the needle? I don't think so. This is weird, but keep it in mind because the Wizards and the Pelicans both have 2 first-round picks, and they're both in the top 10. We'll get back to that a little bit later. Let's talk about what just happened moments ago. That's right, breaking 3-team trade. Shams reports that the Celtics, the Hawks, and the Nets are coming to terms on a trade to send Kristaps Porzingis and a second-round pick to the Atlanta Hawks, Terrence Mann, and Atlanta's number 22 pick to the Nets, and George Niang, the minivan, and a second-rounder to the Celtics. Man, I can already see it this upcoming season. George Niang on the Celtics, he will be another Sixers villain yet again. I can already see him talking smack, but nonetheless, this is a big domino, a big trade, because when you think about what happened last night, where at midnight, the Celtics trade Jrue Holiday away to the Trailblazers for Anthony Simons and 2 second-round picks. I mean, this is absolute madness. First off, let's talk about the Celtics. Brad Stevens is a genius. I tweeted this out last night. I'm getting tired of the Celtics making the right damn move every single time. They know that they're not going to contend next year. Jason Tatum ruptured his Achilles. We talked about this 2 days ago? Yesterday as well? Tyrese Halliburton has a ruptured Achilles. Pacers are going to be stuck next year in a way. Celtics are going to be stuck next year. So what do? Instead of sitting there, taking all these penalties and staying in the second apron, they decide to move out of it. They get off Porzingis, who was injured and so sick throughout the year. They get off Jrue Holiday, even though he's 37, still has game. Don't know why the Blazers did it. I mean, I know they were a great defensive team at the end of the season, but you're getting rid of Anthony Simons, who can hoop, and they got second-round picks. The Celtics got picks in the trade, and now they trade Porzingis and can kind of retool. There's been reports about Jaylen Brown, but the Celtics are now out of the second apron, which is just genius work by Brad Stevens. However, this now creates an interesting scenario for tomorrow. Celtics, Pacers all down. We'll see what they do. Maybe there will be some shuffling in the draft. Like I said, Sixers could have an avenue here to contend in the East next year. When you look at the landscape, it's going to be wide open. And one team that's trying to use their assets to get back up the ladder a little bit, who's been down for a while, is the Brooklyn Nets. The Nets in this trade not only get Terrence Mann, but they get the number 22 pick. Ladies and gentlemen, the Brooklyn Nets now have 5 first-round picks tomorrow. Day number 1, tomorrow night, we'll be live streaming the draft. They have 5 firsts, 8, 19, 22, 26, and 27. They have enough to move up if they want. We talked about the Wizards and the Pelicans. They did not include any of the top 10 picks. Wizards have number 6, Pelicans have 7. But the Wizards have a pretty good haul if they want to move up, right? They love Ace Bailey. Well, if they want to move up, maybe. Pelicans love Ace Bailey. They could move up, and the Nets have more than enough to move up. So the question is, should the Sixers actually entertain trade offers? I've been saying this for a couple days now. Yeah, they should. we'll talk about that a little bit more here in just a second. But let's talk about the players that they could take tomorrow night. We already know about our boy Ace Bailey, right? Well, he talked to the media today, and here's what he had to say. Quote, "I'm just glad to be in this position. I'm taking it day by day. I'm focused on basketball." That's what he said when he was asked why he didn't want to work out for the Sixers or some of these other teams. So, wow, shocking. First time that his camp, his agency, has actually instructed him to say the right thing. Take the high road instead of, coming up with something crazy to say or, oh, we want to go here, we want to do this. I really don't think it's Ace, man. I think it's his representation who's trying to get as much money as they can and get him to be the number one option on day one, which I still don't think is like some crazy revelation idea. And, it could go really bad in Washington or New Orleans or wherever else. Now the Wizards have more players. Now the Pelicans have another guy that fits their team. So what happens now? In addition to that, Ace Bailey says, quote, "Just play basketball. Wherever you go, just hoop." Well, that doesn't add up to what you said, because all this time when we've been saying Ace Bailey should be the guy, is the best fit, can come in here, plug and play, learn from a guy like Paul George, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You sat there and your campus said, nope, we want to go to this location. We want this many touches. We want this. We want this. We don't want Philly. John Gavoni yesterday said that Ace Bailey is sending signals. He doesn't want to be in Philadelphia, which I still think is insane. And as much as I like Ace and still feel like he should be the pick based on talent, the other side of me says, no, stay away. Don't take him. There's other players there at 3. I have said this entire time that Ace Bailey has the ceiling to be an all-star, and reach that potential. Might take some time. But at this point, they've done so much work to push the Sixers away. I just don't see a way that they can still take him tomorrow. I just don't see it happening. I wish it didn't come to this. Of course, the Sixers had to get the 3rd pick, not the 1st or 2nd. And they get the most entertaining, just buzzing, discussion-wise pick in the NBA draft. So that takes us to the other guy. VJ Edgecombe. Yesterday, a report came out that VJ reportedly appeared nervous during his private workout in Philly and did not shoot the ball well in an unnatural one-on-one setting. So they had him in the gym, and he didn't shoot well. He was nervous. But in other reports, he met with the leadership. He made a strong impression at dinners, his personality. There was a clip of him today, which we will take a look at here in a second. But today he said maybe Philly likes Bohemians. We'll see. So all indications point to VJ being the guy at number 3. And I've said all along, I do like VJ. And unlike a lot of these other people that just whine on Twitter, I've highlighted strengths and weaknesses for every prospect. There's a handful of guys I do like in the top 10, VJ being one of them. But that doesn't take away from the fact that he has a limited handle, that he is a little bit inexperienced in some other areas on the offensive side. At best right now, maybe a secondary creator, and the fit is a little bit wonky. And this big discussion of, draft best available, draft best available. It's not always the case. Context matters. It should be draft best available if that guy is way better than the other players that are options, right? And I personally think that VJ is like a supercharged role player as of right now, not a guy that you usually pick at 3. At 3, you want to hit on an all-star. I still think VJ will impact winning. I still think he brings a lot of value, but there are other players in this area, which is why, in my opinion, I would want to trade back. But anyway, here's what VJ said about playing alongside Embiid, Maxey, and PG.
You do fit in with Tyrese Maxey, Embiid, and Paul.
I feel like I'll be able to play off of them. They're great players. Embiid's an MVP of the league. Paul George is a runner-up before, so I just feel like I just fit in well with them. And even Coach Nurse, he's a defensive-minded coach. I feel like I play a lot of defense.
Love the way that he emphasizes the defensive mentality there, playing on the defensive side of the ball. I love that. I love that from a rookie. Seems like he's very mature. I like that. But at the same time, when I look at this draft, now with the newest trades that happened today, I'm sitting here and I'm going, first off, would the Hornets or the Jazz even take VJ? There's been a lot of buzz about Khan to the Hornets at 4, Ace to the Jazz, or Trey Johnson, or even Jeremiah Fears. So what if the Sixers traded back with Washington, who has 6, and they have number 18 as well? including a lot of other picks in the coming years. That could be one opportunity. Maybe you still trade back and get your guy. They should at least entertain it. Or what if they trade with New Orleans, who now has 7, they have 23, and they have 40 as well that they picked up today from Washington. So that's very interesting. What about Brooklyn, who now has 5 first-round picks, number 8, 19, 22, 26, 27. I know these guys at the end of the first round aren't always hits, but, I mean, there's still picks you could bundle together, use to get more assets, kind of like, have the chessboard and just continue to manipulate it a little bit, move guys around, move picks around, things like that. So, in my opinion, I still would entertain a trade offer, but ultimately, I don't think it'll happen. This is without trades, but here is my final mock draft for the lottery. I do think the Sixers are locking in on VJ at number 3, and I think Ace will go to the Wizards at 6. I don't know why he still doesn't want to come here, but at this point, that is on him. Talent alone, I still think he's the best fit for the Sixers, and nobody wants to ever acknowledge the whole guard shuffle here and how that's going to play out, but we'll see what happens. I would be happy with Knuppel as well. Trey Johnson, another one I like, even Malawach, but all of these guys I feel like are more of like in that 5 to 8, 9 range for me on a normal draft. And I would like to trade back a few spots, pick up some more picks, and add to the arsenal. But don't think they're going to do it. I think they're going to stay at 3. Those are my instant thoughts and reactions. What do you think? Are you sold on VJ? Should the Sixers still take Ace and say screw it? Draft is tomorrow night. We'll be live. Give me all your thoughts down below. Appreciate everybody for tapping in. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.